Hello everybody. I don't know if it's morning, afternoon, evening, or middle of the night for you, but today for me it's April 7th, 2023. Good Friday, good Shabbos. It's Passover time. I mean, a lot of religious holidays are happening, so I hope everybody makes the best of what you're celebrating. Just want to remind everybody that everything that's on my videos, it's for entertainment only. I want to apologize to everybody because, Wednesday I had a video go up, but I ended up talking with Duchess of Narcissus and Absolutely Average on that live stream, and I'll pin the link into the comments so people can go back and watch. We had a fun time, lots of laughs, and laughter is the best medicine. So thank you to the Duchess of Narcissus, some people call her Dawn or Darth Narcissus. And Ross. So it's thanks to both of them. And just a reminder, tomorrow, Saturday the 8th, it's the second Sunday of the month, I will be doing a live broadcast at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. It's 1 p.m. Chicago time, so that's 7 p.m. UK time. So I think everybody can kind of juggle and figure out what time that will be in your own time zone. So getting down to business, honestly, yesterday I was up and out the door taking care of stuff, and when I got home, I just kind of wiped out. So there's a lot of things happening, but we do have to be cautious. Otherwise, a lot of people are getting their videos pulled because they're using phrases that powers that be don't like. So I'll do the best I can with what I have to work with. And the big thing, DJT is in the news big time. When certain things were announced, I guess, right, I heard it was 4 million in 24 hours, and now someone said it's up over 10 million. And 25% of the donations are coming in from people who never thought about him as a great politician. Well, every time I see something on it, and I get laughter. And I guess the dude that's trying to make a name for himself and fulfilling a campaign promise, I hope no one gets upset, but he reminds me of the Saturday morning cartoon with Fat Albert. But I think Fat Albert had a few more brain cells than this dude out of Manhattan. I mean, when he got in line for brains, I think he got into the wrong line because he's more blubber. He mistook the line for blubber instead of going in for the brain cell line. So, little blubber boy, Fat Albert, blubber boy, or whatever you want to call him. All he's doing is trying to fulfill campaign promise. And he's being remember the line that goes with when you assume things? He's making a total butt out of himself and everybody else that voted for him. This mess, it's gonna get a little bit more darker, and they're gonna try and find more supposed business documents with discrepancies. Well, DJT is a really on-the-ball business person. I mean, he went to Wharton. So his ducks are in a row. The I's are dotted, the T's are crossed. And they're just looking for scraps to put together, and whatever they're trying to make stick to them, sorry, but that old bubble gum and duct tape, it's lost its stickiness. So they're going to try and dig up more nonsense. But everything they pull up, it's not going to stick to them. People thought John Gotti was the Teflon Don, but we've got the real Teflon Don. Nothing's going to stick. But there's going to be a lot of nonsense, and it's known that many, many Democrats, especially in the legal profession, when they go up against somebody who is an elephant, these donkeys like to pull out, and continuance after continuance, they keep saying, oh, we're not ready, even though they're the ones that instigated all of this nonsense. The donkeys are going to try and they're going to drag it out for as long as humanly possible. And there will have to be a federal judge who says enough is enough. Either you present your case or I will dismiss it. And that judge will be applauded because he's standing up against the donkey people. So, I mean, they think they've got everything locked and loaded, but no, they're building castles in the sand that will be decimated with the next high tide. So, everything pertaining to DJT, I would just sit back and watch the show. DJT knows how to appear in front of the cameras. After all, he did have a very, very successful TV show. And I can't wait till he turns around and says to little fat Albert, "You're fired." And that is going to happen. That will happen. And now the other things that I've noticed, because I do get up very, very early. I mean, my sleep cycle has me waking up between 1 and 3 a.m. in the morning. That's just my sleep cycle is. And so I go and I check the international news. And we know that Finland had their elections. They got rid of their old, prime minister. And now they've got the coalition government, and the coalition government is being sucked into joining NATO. The more I see on NATO, I keep getting the feeling that NATO is the new variation of the Axis powers. And they're also trying to get Sweden involved because they want to lock down the Baltic Sea up north. By the North Sea, they want to basically shut down all the ports that Russia may be able to use, ocean ports, access to the ocean. It's not really going to succeed because people are realizing what's going on. Poland and Hungary have both noticed that the blue and yellow flag country, the Z guy in the green sweatshirt, is trying to form a giant coalition of countries. He's following little Adolf's playbook. And people are stating that the blue and yellow country never filed the formal papers after 1945 to become its own separate country. So it's always been a territory of the country that's sometimes referred to as the Big Bear. So, excuse me, I'm sorry. I'll call them back. So people are recognizing it, and people are getting fed up. So sooner than later, people are going to be putting their foot down and telling this guy no. In the UK, people are getting tired of their tax money, instead of being kept in the UK to pay for the infrastructure. I mean, some of the roads in the UK are just, they haven't been maintained in the past 10 years. I mean, they have potholes that you could lose a Mini Cooper into. So people are going to start having a fit over what's going on in the UK. They're going to say no more money to the Ukraine. Here in the United States, we're seeing our own infrastructure fall apart and services being cut for the elderly and those who are on disability, because all this money is going to the Ukraine. I'm sorry, but hey, don't you take care of people in your own backyard first? People here in the United States are waking up. And with this stupid charges being brought up against DJT, we're going to have people are going to stand up and start saying no. As for where I live in Chicago, on the 4th, it was election day. And unfortunately, we did get a bad storm. So a lot of people weren't able to go and vote. And now we've got, people know that Lori Lightfoot, I mean, she did her best to destroy the city, and she took one for the DNC and allowed the BLM and the little Antifa brats to basically decimate our downtown area and put fear into people so they do not feel safe in the city of Chicago. And what happened this week is that this goofball who sat on the Cook County board, and Chicago is in Cook County, he's a gorilla. How much brain cells does a gorilla have? I mean, look at the old Planet of the Apes movies. The top of the food chain in those were the chimpanzees, and they had the most intelligent. And the gorillas were placed down at the bottom because they were the bullies and they were the military, because they could follow orders and use brute strength and stupidity. Well, right now we've got a stupid gorilla who's going to be the next mayor of the city. And if you thought Lori Lightfoot was bad, this Brandon Johnson is going to be worse. I mean, one of the first things he wants to do is defund the police. Housing prices are the real estate market in Chicago is going to bottom out, because he says he's not going to raise taxes for the common person. But if you're a business, he's going to tax you out of the city, out of Cook County. And people whose houses are valued above a certain price point, you now have to pay he's going to put through a mansion tax. So if you have a nice house that you've paid a pretty penny for, you are going to be taxed for the privilege to live in a nice home. So he's not taxing the gangbangers and lowlifes that voted for him, because I would say many of them are on housing vouchers and they rent and they don't own a home. But homeowners whose property values are above a certain line, that's who's going to be paying the taxes. So this dude basically lied. He said, oh, no taxes. But then when you read the fine print, he's going to tax the daylights out of the city. And he had the backing of the school teachers union. The Chicago Teachers Union will now be given free rein to continue to brainwash the children. And it would not surprise me, and parents, please be careful, because they're going to start this gender confusion with the children. And they are going to use the in loco parentis law, so that the moment you drop your child off in the morning, you no longer have any say in what happens to your child. During school hours, they can give your child, they will be trying to give every child a certain liquid that has caused many miscarriages and death by blood clot. They'll be giving that to your children because of they are technically the legal guardian of the child during school hours while they are in school on the school property. The Brandon Johnson people will make it a point of they're going to be giving children a lot of bad stuff, bad liquids. And then they will start basically brainwashing the children into, if a girl is a little tomboy and likes to climb trees and play with trucks and play baseball, they're going to now say, well, you're not a girl, you're a boy, and here's the medication, and we're going to organize a surgery so you can actually be, your body can physically be turned into a boy. These are all the images I have been seeing, and parents will have no recourse because Illinois will not change that in loco parentis law. So people, please start homeschooling the kids, because this new mayor of Chicago is out to turn the children into startup Manchurian candidates. It's so, I keep seeing so much, and it makes me physically ill. I want to vomit. When this morning they said, France is still going up for grabs. The people have now been able to, they're upset with Macron because he just raised the retirement age without consulting everybody, and people are very upset because he didn't use the proper channels. Well, now they're getting into the buildings of places like BlackRock, and they're getting in and they're finding what these businesses are doing. So a lot of things will be exposed, and they'll be exposed, and it's going to open up the eyes of a lot of people. As for, people are always wanting to know about Henry and Rachel. Ages ago, back in when the first packages went out in the mail, yes, they said they will be attending. They will be in London for that weekend. But they keep changing the particulars. If people know anything, it's when a rock and roll band goes on tour, they have this little thing called a rider in their contract. And people have said, oh, yeah, like I guess it was Van Halen didn't want brown M&Ms in the bowl. And that was something to make sure that the promoter and the venue paid attention to all the details. Well, that's what Henry and Rachel are doing, is they have thrown a writer a lot of conditions that the UK government must do for them to show their faces. And what people are forgetting, that this is not a family celebration. This is an official state government thing. This is, the coronation is like equivalent to our presidential inauguration. It's not a family event. It's a government thing. It's so whoever is going to go up on that balcony, those people are actually working with the UK government. So yes, the Duke of Kent, the Duke of Gloucester, Prince Michael, Princess Alexandra. We have, of course, KC3 and the Queen Consort Camilla. We've got the Prince and Princess of Wales and their children. Plus we have, yes, the Duke of York is going to be back up on the balcony. That is what I've seen. Because he is going to go back and start working. He will not be involved in international business, but he will be in the welfare of the veterans. Princess Beatrice will be up there because she still does some royal official things. Of course, our lovely Princess Royal Anne and her husband, Admiral Tim Lawrence, because they both are doing stuff. They work with the veterans, and Anne does a lot of really wonderful things. Plus, we have the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh and their children. That's who's going to be up on the balcony, and it wouldn't surprise me if the Snowdens were also. Because Lady Sarah has some charities, and so does the Earl of Snowdon, David Armstrong Jones. That's who I see on the balcony. And we're going to see poking through the window the faces with her nose up against the glass. Little Rachel. She'll be probably looking out the same kind of window that Wallace did when the ascension to the throne for David was. All she's going to be is hidden behind glass with her nose up against the window. So, I've reached about my time limit because I hate taking up too much time for everybody. So I hope everybody has a wonderful day. It's Friday, Good Friday. Go to church. What is it? 3 p.m. They do everything in Stations of the Cross. And tonight is third night of Passover. So good Shabbos. Reminder tomorrow, Saturday, the 8th, live broadcast at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time. And I hope to see a lot of you and talk with a lot of you tomorrow. Have a good one. Bye.